Hello guys, it's a real pleasure for us to welcome you again to the Nakim channel. Our video of today is going to be about Cairo, the capital city of Egypt. Although Hurghada city and the Giftung Island were unforgettable experiences as we could show it in our previous video, Cairo remained the highlight of our holidays in Egypt. In the following video, you are going to discover why. Before you start watching the video, we would like to request you to subscribe to this channel to enable us to continue sharing with you amazing content like this one. For those people who has already subscribed, we are grateful. Enjoy watching the video. It was about 1 a.m. in the morning when our trip to Cairo started. The entire hotel was still sleeping when we started walking to the meeting point. The trip was supposed to take like 6 hours before we arrived to Cairo. Therefore, we made a break in Zafarana like about 6 a.m. It was enough time to go straight a bit and to buy some breakfast. We were about 50 tourists in a bus going to Cairo in order to discover that beautiful city and its pyramids, and especially the Museum of Cairo. Even if our expectation according to Cairo or for the pyramids were still big, it was difficult to stay awake during the whole trip to Cairo. As we all know, it hardly rains in the desert, but on this specific day, it began to rain as we drove through the desert all the road long. This was unbelievable. As the time went by, we got closer to Cairo step by step, and we saw the first building through the bus window. Our bus stopped first at the Museum of Cairo at about 8 a.m. We first got some instructions from our tour guide and lined up to get into the museum. The Egyptian Museum in Cairo was established in 1902 and is still today one of the biggest museums dedicated to the Egyptian antiquities. A lot of tourists from all over the world come here to the Egyptian Museum in Cairo to see more than 120,000 items from the Egyptian antiquities. Before getting inside in the museum, we first got our entrance ticket and our headset. During the Egyptian Revolution in 2011, the museum was broken in two and some artifacts were damaged and over 50 objects were stolen. However, getting inside in the museum and seeing these objects, artifacts and mummies which are more than 4,000 years old is something unique. Our guide started first by explaining to us how and where Egyptians were mummifying their dead people at that time. The mummification process takes about 70 days. The process was so successful that we can view the mummified body today and have an idea of what he or she looked like in life 3,000 years ago. After the mummification, the Egyptians used to put their most important people like pharaohs and other rich personalities in such a coffin called sarcophagus. There are different types of sarcophagus Egyptians used that time to bury their dead people. The difference between each sarcophagus depends on the role the dead person was playing in the society. Sarcophagus were most designed to remain above ground. The earlier sarcophagus were used by Egyptian pharaohs of the Third Dynasty, which reigned like 2,000 years before Christ. Not only the decoration of a sarcophagus attract most tourists to the Egyptian museum. A sarcophagus is definitely, just like other objects in the Egyptian museum, a testimony about the culture and the ritual of Egyptian 2,000 years before Christ. Therefore, each picture of their sarcophagus has its own value. These objects you can see now were found in the grave of Yoya and Toya, the great-grandparent of Tutankhamun. The grave of Yoya and Toya was discovered in 1905 by James E. Quebel in Luxor. It was one of the spectacular discoveries in the story of the Egyptology. We continue discovering the museum, looking at the impressive object, and taking some pictures as soon as it's allowed. In fact, if you visit the Egyptian Museum in the future, please be careful by taking pictures because not all objects can be photographed. For example, those objects discovered in the grave of Tutankhamun cannot be photographed. So we did not photograph those ones. We came then to this part of the museum where we could see another type of mummification and enjoy looking at other amazing objects. We enjoyed visiting the Museum of Cairo. It's a unique experience. If you ever travel to Egypt, make sure you visit this museum. Then we came to this part of the museum where we could see all the objects discovered that time in 1922 in the grave of Tutankhamun. We got inside to see these objects, but we were not allowed to take any picture of them. Then we came out of the room of Tutankhamun and continued seeing and taking pictures of other objects. This coffin you can see right now is another type of sarcophagus. As you can see, it's not that beautiful that the other one we saw. The Egyptians used this type of sarcophagus to bury people who didn't have an important role in the society. As you can see, this is the way they used to mummificate those kind of people. Our guide tour inside in the museum brought us even to this place where we could see the statue of great personalities, like here the pharaoh Khafra, who built the second pyramid of Giza. We continue learning from our guide. In Cairo, most tourist guides can speak English, and some of them, like our, can even speak German. Seeing all these objects and statues help us to understand what was the life of Egyptians many years before Christ. We completed our tour in the museum by visiting the shop where they sell some souvenirs. After that, we prepared to continue with the next tour. We hope you enjoy watching this video, which was just the first part of our highlight in Cairo. The next and last part will be released very soon. Please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to this channel. See you on our next video.